Whoa, is this me or is the song really low pitched?
No, it's normal.
Sounds normal to me.
Is
You
it?
just did this before.
Yeah. Hello, guys. Welcome.
Yes, this is your normal job. What's wrong?
No. But the song is lower pitched.
It's
No,
not.
it's fine.
All right.
The normal intro to
Episode
3 Degens and a Normie.
34.
Yep.
Steven is in charge of the tech today,
What?
so
I gotta ask
Going
Eugene if this is a
great.
thing that happens, because to me that was like a full like
that's
2 or
happened
3.
to that's happened
keys
to you
lower.
before, Steven. Like in
We
the
have a
early
special guest
episodes, you used to
today.
complain about it
Yeah,
all the
but
time.
it happened
No,
since
what
then,
they
so I
say.
forgot. Yeah, episode 34, 3 Inches and Normie. I'm Steven.
We didn't watch any Spy Family today
Because
because
Eugene's in there.
Eugene is
He's the only one
gone,
who
and we
introduced himself.
we want him included.
Screw the rest
so.
of you, yeah. We have
Hey,
special
Jordan.
guest.
People should know this point. Candace. Special guest, Scott.
And then
Me.
Steven.
I already said my name,
Yes, Steven was
Oh,
the
I
first
did.
and then you
one after he
monologued
got
for a
over
bit,
his,
and then everyone else introduced. It's funny because it's like special guest Scott, but it's like he's been on like a third of the episodes at this point now. So it's,
Yeah, but you know.
although it's the rare
I'm always special in your
Eugene
heart.
not here though.
Yeah, this
That's
is a
very
first.
ins- I think it's the first time it's been Eugene
Can
gone.
you
like
tell?
it's
So is that wait?
There's no organization.
Am I
that's why
am
it's
I the
fun.
only one who hasn't missed an episode at this point? Then
You've been on every episode?
I think I've been on every episode.
Oh
I
my
think so.
God.
And I think has it been a Eugene Scott Jordan Candace episode?
No.
I don't think
No.
so.
But
I
I'm
don't
coming-
think so.
I don't
coming
think
to you
so.
next
Gold
week.
star.
Mr.
Good job.
Mr. Consistent over here, you know, what can I say?
Holding the team together, carrying us on your back.
Oh,
Well,
No,
that's
Gary,
cool.
yeah, right. It's like, do you like my oscillating tower fan behind me?
Very nice.
Oh, was
Very
it
nice.
a Prime Day?
No, I
review?
got that from
Okay.
Canadian Tire a few years ago.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. No,
I think
I'm very-
Canadian Tire.
I have a
Yeah,
little
Canadian
fan over there.
Oh,
Oh,
It's
very
spinning
nice.
around,
I
it's
have a
spinning around.
heater.
have my
Because
air
I'm in a
conditioning in my
basement suite.
room.
As just like the person in the UK right now, I'm like, what? what's be nice to be cold
A
enough to
heater?
need heat again.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question. Are there actually not screens on the windows there?
What?
Are there not screens on the windows there? I kept seeing videos on TikTok where people were buying like their own screens, and like taping them around the windows because when they'd open there'd be no screen in the window.
What's the screen?
She means those little mesh,
and
those
window
little black
screens.
mesh things that go behind.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh,
you
my
know
Lord.
what? See,
I gotta guess
in my,
no, they don't
in
have
my
them.
in my defense, I was like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like a digital screen? But also,
No.
B,
Yeah, there's
What
like
else
a
do you call it?
it's so like this is the problem. It's been so long since I've come back to the UK that now I've just assimilated back to UK culture, which is people don't know what the
Of course.
fuck, they don't know how lucky or like how fortunate or how smart of an idea it is to live in Canada where you actually have screens on windows. Instead,
Yeah.
you
They
have to
don't have
open your
screens?
No, I kept
nowhere.
seeing
You
people
open your
like
fucking
from
window.
Canada in the
Spiders are gonna
States,
get in.
and they're
Yeah,
complaining
it's
because
great,
there are
it's
bugs
great.
inside.
It's great.
that-
I've got a window
that
right
insane?
open.
Is
Is that just a
I'm
holdover
panicking.
from older building practices that like they just didn't have them?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm asking. It's like, well, as a civil engineer,
Well-
I can.
Well, it's usually in the
You live there, you should
1950s.
know.
Well,
No, but
You're
I think
British,
it's-
you know
I think
everything,
it
right?
really is just a case of it probably is that like the fact that like with our architecture, like you come to England and don't get me wrong, I flipping love the architecture. You do come to England, you're like fucking hell, it's old looking. And even
Until
like,
Queen Elizabeth II dies, they can't update anything. That's just how
yeah,
it
no,
goes.
we haven't even got internet yet, so we're working off the hamster wheels right now. But in any case, yeah, no, that was the first thing actually. To be fair, that when I came back here, I was like, motherfucker, why does no one have a screen? And you also can't get screens easily. Like it's not like you could just go down to the screen shop. You would probably have to order it online, and also have to be that
That's so
arsehole that's
weird.
like, well, I can tell you the exact measurements of my window.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right.
It's 14.2 inches by 12 inches. Except it wouldn't be
Well,
inches.
they would
'cause you're
yeah.
Yeah.
27
Really?
centimeters by 29 centimeters.
I will say, Canadian school system screwed me up, my dude.
With the half and half. It's
Because
like
now I've come back
every
to
once
the
in a while you use imperial, every once in a while you use
Exactly.
metric.
Everyone thinks I'm like a nutter. Like, going, "Ooh, well,
What? Everything's in kilometers, but I'm like 5 feet tall.
Yeah,
kinda
no, I'll be
thing?
like, I'm 5 foot tall, and I'm like
Like,
5
what
foot
the
6.
hell
Well, I'm
is that?
5'6".
But then,
I'm
but then
actually
they'll be, but then they'll be like, "Oh, and I weigh this many stone." You'll be like, "What the hell are you talking
yeah.
about?"
Yeah,
Or
actually,
I
so
don't even know
that's the thing.
kilograms.
That's the thing. Like, it switches even. Like, that's not as
Oh, yeah.
bad because although it was pretty bad because when it started off, I was saying like pounds for stuff. But what is it like? People will, depending on how old of a person, they'll switch between
Yeah.
kilos or stone. And every time
Yeah.
someone gives me a stone measure, I'm like, what the fuck does that mean to me?
Well, that's actually one of the funniest things. Is like as a high school teacher, right? And I teach math sometimes too, and science, whatever. There's a lot of measurements where you're like. So I was teaching like this one whole unit that was on like your unit rates and measuring different stuff and like surface areas and whatnot. And yeah, like try to keep things in centimeters for the most part, but like it's hard to not talk about inches and rental because if you're talking about like construction or building things for construction and stuff, that's all done in inches and feet and stuff like that, right? And a lot of weights are all done in pounds and stuff like that. It's amazing because actually one of my EAs, like my education assistants in my class, was like a bit older, and they used to be a carpenter. So like when they were helping out students, like they had like it was really really good because they had like a bunch of like really quick maths, like really good arithmetic skills for that were based off of carpentry. So like fractions and stuff were like super good. But like sometimes when I'd be like explaining something in metric, they'd be like, like I'm sorry.
Yeah, like at work for pipe, when we replace pipe and stuff, it's in feet.
Yep.
Or
and
like,
well, I think it's part of it too is that
water pressure.
Yeah.
The head is foot pounds, I think.
Foot pounds, yeah. Instead of newtons of force.
Yeah, it's different.
Foot pounds.
It's better than inches of mercury. That shit confuses me.
Oh God, yeah. Well, we
Zach
don't. Yeah.
truck at work is inches of mercury, and I'm
that's
like,
that's the old. That's such a like ridiculous.
I don't know what
way
it
of
means.
measuring
know
this.
what
Should
that
be
means.
18. I don't know either. I had to ask after like
I'm
a year
out
and a half
myself
on the
as a-
Zach truck. I was like, "What's inches of mercury?" Steve,
I'm
you
out
got
myself.
so
It's
dark.
no inches of mercury. It's another.
Space
It's a form of pressure, right? So like
Yeah.
atmospheric pressure, psi, foot pounds. It's all pressure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Right?
it's either I can have the water pressure in psi and understand that and not know what the
Yeah.
inches of mercury is, or like I swap it over to like the English Canadian kind of stuff on the
I
truck.
wonder the inches of
Also,
mercury to
it
psi
can go back and
conversion.
forth between the American. Then it's in kilopascals, and I just
Yeah.
Oh fucking
I
hell.
don't know.
So-
any of that.
So, well, kilopascals is the metric version. The funny thing is that when I was in chemistry in like first year and second year, when you do like gas laws something like that and you're partially figuring out like gas pressures, like you use pascals or like sometimes use atmosphere and stuff.
This is
but
a science
Yeah, I was
math
gonna say, I don't know.
podcast.
I just
podcast
listened to
anymore.
everything. No, okay, so like when you fill up like if you have to fill up your tires with air, right, to get them to the correct pressure. Like so, I don't know what yours is, but like, for example, mine, the front tires need to be 32 psi and the back tires need to be 30 psi, right?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
I don't drive, so
It
I've got
says on the
no
tire.
clue.
How do you not know that?
Yeah,
It's kind of an
don't
important thing to know.
I
You
don't
should
drive.
check,
Like,
you
why
should
would
check
I
your
ever-
tires.
Well,
Hold
I
on,
would
you
not
Scott.
drive.
Again.
This thing
I have
is
Candace-
sensors that
Candace
tell me
has-
if it's low. I don't know.
Oh,
Someone who
right, you
doesn't
have a
drive
fan.
Oh,
doesn't
she got
need to know
new.
that.
Yeah, see, Candace
I
has a
have to
good
use
job
car.
and a good car. You know,
New
my car
tires this year,
is a 2003.
Yeah, I got new tires this year, but before that, I had to do it like every couple weeks because they were just constantly losing
Oh,
air.
Wait,
no.
did I mention? Did I tell you? Because I took off my
What
winter
setting
tires
was
when I
this
went back
called?
home. Did I tell you how old my winter tires were?
No.
Oh no.
Concerningly old?
So,
Yeah. You're
so when
saying
you
it
check
like
when you
that,
check
I
the
don't
when you
know.
check the tire date on your
Uh-huh.
tires, it goes week year. So I'll go like which week of which year, right? So like 14,
The week of
19. So
Okay,
it'd be the
okay.
14th
Yeah,
week
yeah.
of the 19th,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
2019,
Mhm.
right? Just take a stab at how old my winter tires were.
Probably
wasn't
early
19.
2000s.
Yeah.
6 years old.
6 years old. So remember, this is 2022. My on my tire, I checked it. It was 26, so the 26th week. 04.
I called it.
Those are the original winter tires.
Oh my god.
Okay, so in my defense,
Yeah.
There's
like
no
they,
defense.
don't-
That's
yeah, I don't know if you
dangerous.
can defend
Listen,
that.
listen. listen,
Uh-huh.
they'd only seen about like 6 or 7 years of actual use.
Only.
Where were they
Only.
That's
before?
still a
Okay,
lot.
so
On vacation,
How
they
does the
were
tread
used.
on
If
those?
you remember, my car belonged to my uncle.
Yeah.
I did not know
When
that,
he
but okay.
died, the
Mhm.
car was not in use for a number of years.
Yeah.
So he died in 2013.
Mhm.
So it was about 5-6 years then.
So, yeah,
Like
that's
5 6
six
so 5 or 6 years then there, and then
Mhm.
not used until basically last winter. So in total,
Oh.
7.5 years, 8 years.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
they were very good
still a
tires.
lot of use.
That's still a lot of
Made
use.
in Finland. Well, the thing is that when I would go
Made
to
in Finland.
get my oil changed like that at like the
They
Honda
last
dealership,
longer.
Get that
the
finished
one
Yeah, but
next to
they check
Yeah, I know
your
what you're talking
tread.
about.
yeah, and literally like last time back in end of last summer, they were like, yeah, no, the treads are good, like they're
Yeah.
fine.
Nice.
That's not bad.
The main thing was just the rubber was getting a bit old.
Yeah,
you're
but
only
they were
using
made
them
in
half a
they were
year,
made in
right?
Finland.
Yeah. Speaking of winter tires,
High
though,
quality.
I was at Adam's grandparents for dinner, and we
Yeah.
were eating outside, and the neighbors pulled up with studded tires on.
In
summer.
July.
Yeah, 'cause I could hear it coming down the street, and like last
Bruh,
week,
you're
was
still-
like,
yeah, we just
"Oh,
took her
off the
chains
path."
off.
And I was like,
Chains,
those
yeah.
tires look like they're studded, but it was parked. And I was like, weird, okay. And then I heard them driving down the road today. Like, can't you get fined for having
Yeah,
studs on?
yeah,
Yeah.
you should
In
not have studs
July?
on right now. That's insanity. Why would you have
Like,
studs?
I don't know.
And you're just
If
gonna
it was
ruin
some,
your
like,
own
Did they-
tires.
Ford Ranger
Did
with
it-
studded
Well,
tires
but
on.
the only way that makes sense is if they had studded all seasons, but that's illegal.
Yeah.
You can't.
You
Yeah,
need to
I
have,
know.
winter
That's
tires in like
I feel like
October,
you're not supposed
like
to
October
have those
1st,
on.
right?
Just like out
Yeah.
in your. They'll be in prison
That's
next
well,
week,
that's
don't
bad. You really shouldn't. Like that's worse
I
than mine. Like
know.
mine, those are old tires, but having studded all seasons, that means they had those on in the wintertime, which is
Yes.
useless.
What? Okay.
All
so
season tire. What's that? Sorry.
Talk to me like I'm a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
What's the point of studded tires?
It
For
better
the
grip on the ice.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
little
Metal
nails that
studs
poke
in
You know,
it.
you know how
ice.
you have those winter those things you can put on winter boots that like put little studs in the bottom of them, so when you
forget ice
step,
is a
it like
thing.
makes a yeah.
It's that, but tires.
Slap it for
Yeah.
tires.
You
Yeah.
know what? Actually, I've got a little
Much
mini
better.
rant here. I've got a little mini rant. So
Okay.
the first time, this is going back quite a little bit, because it's when I was going to college here in the UK. So I was making sure my duct tape thing didn't fall down.
Duct tape ring light?
My duct tape ring light.
At least you
didn't fall
have a
down.
ring light.
Yeah.
It's
Steven.
true. It's true.
Who needs a ring light when you
Exactly.
can have a 24-inch monitor?
Yeah, and you look super ominous when you click at the
True.
thing.
That's
Anyways,
fine.
continue on your mini rant.
Anyways, so obviously I was still used to Canadian winter, and
Yeah.
I came back. To
It's
UK.
water.
I came back to UK in
Yeah.
my last
Sure.
year of college. We had snow, and when I say we have
Magical.
snow, it was like that much snow,
Oh my
and I
Mhm.
shit you not, people in my school were on the fucking school chat going, "Oh, I don't know if I'll go in today. It's pretty dangerous."
What is this,
god.
Victoria?
Oh my god.
It's dangerous to drive. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I fucking get my ass all the way to school because I'm like, of course I would. It's
Oh,
fucking
no, did
an
they
inch
cancel?
of
Like
snow,
yeah.
Mhm.
and I had like my bloody exam that week, so I was
Oh,
like,
no.
I should probably go in. Fucking
Oh,
get over
boy.
there. The whole college is shut. I'm like,
Oh my god.
In what world?
The only
Literally,
time
that
school is
sounds
closed
like
for us is during
Vancouver, to be honest.
Snowmageddon.
That,
just-
okay,
That's the
it's-
only time I think we had a snow day.
Yeah, when
I
we got 6
remember
feet in one
walking-
day.
Yeah, I remember walking
Yeah.
through like almost like
Up to my
To your
ears.
head.
actual thigh high
oh my
past
Yeah.
snow
God.
to get to school because they didn't
was so
plow the
sick.
sidewalks. They're like,
That
your
was
school's
so
gonna come, and I'm
sick.
like,
Yeah,
As a
literally,
British
person,
literally,
yeah,
schools,
like-
schools in northern Canada do not close unless literally
Like
all the power
dying.
is out.
Yeah.
Unless the
remember-
power, and even if the power is out, remember that one time? Sorry, do you guys remember that one time we were in high school when the power went out in the morning and they made us stay in the cafeteria for like 3 hours just to make sure it didn't come back on? So we're just sitting there, and then eventually like, okay, you can go home. And it was like once. I was like, what the hell was the point in that?
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I literally live right there. Let me go.
No.
pain.
Not
They wouldn't even
allowed.
notice if I just snuck out. Just like.
Christ. That's like when I
Yeah,
used
I
to
don't get
live
that.
literally across from the school as well.
Oh, good times.
Oh my god. Darkness.
Don't mind me.
Wow, Jordan, you're looking really ominous.
Yeah.
Hold
Okay,
up.
this just popped into my brain. So going back to like weird foreign house things. Did you know apparently
foreign
in
house.
Germany they you bring your kitchen with you? So you move into the apartment and there's no kitchen. You put in the cabinets and everything.
The cabinets too.
You put in the
Yeah.
cabinets? What?
Apparently, I
Wow.
can't remember. I
The Germans
saw
just
it.
really they have strong sentimental value to their
But-
own cabinets, so they have to move them around.
Yeah,
They're
in
like,
some
this is
German
good.
cities.
This is good German quality. I need to keep my cabinets. Yeah.
I just looked it up. So in some German cities, and like kitchens and appliances are not included in rental properties, so the
Well, maybe
tenant
they-
has
I
to
feel like they
purchase
need,
their
like,
own
I
and
can't
have it installed at their
I
expense.
can't imagine that's cabinets though. It probably means like
Yeah.
Oh, it's like-
microwaves. and-
No, it's
I
an
wonder,
empty
like-
kitchen. I saw a video of it. They're like, "We're moving in. There's no kitchen."
Just
Just
put an
there.
IKEA
Walls.
like
What do you do if it's like
Literally.
your first house? Like you're like, oh shit.
Buy
You'd
it.
have
You
to
just have
buy
to
a
buy a bunch of
kitchen,
stuff.
and then you
Not
have to
a
bring
kitchen
it
to
with
get it
you when
from.
you move. I guess.
That sucks.
Oh, I love the idea that it's just a kitchen shop. They're like, here's the kitchen.
You just
Hello,
grab the whole
this
thing
is-
and bring it
this
over.
is- This is the Black
Yeah.
Forest #1 kitchen shop.
Oh my god.
We have a wide range of ranges.
I've been
Because
renting
ranges are named
for
by
20 years.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up again, and yeah, it's just
Or you can go to
they
IKEA.
don't have to give you
Get
a
some Swedish
kitchen.
meatballs.
But yeah, I miss screens. I miss screens so much. Like I've woken up several times to spiders, or one time even a wasp
Ugh.
on my pillow.
Oh,
Big
wasps are
brain
evil.
wasp. They're not
Wasps
evil.
are evil.
Wasps,
Wasps
are,
are not evil.
Bees are not. Wasps.
They're just
evil.
Wasps
angry
are not
all
evil.
the
They're not
time.
angry. They're protecting their young.
I've literally
Hang on,
watched
hang on.
someone. I've watched like someone be like, "Oh wow," to a child. No, don't hit it. The wasp will just go away. And it landed on them, and they're like, "Just leave it. It won't hurt you." And it
Right.
stung them, and then
They're
flew
full-
away.
Okay,
Like,
where was the
Your little
wasp
White
nest?
demons.
We weren't disturbing anything. We were sitting
on.
on a bench, hanging
Where the-
out for
where
like
the
half hour.
wasps-
Then it
that's
showed
'cause
up, and it's like, "Fuck you."
Wasps are territorial.
I can't believe you're defending wasps.
I will
Yeah.
defend
Who
does
wasps.
that?
I
No.
defend because they're natural
That's the-
pollinators.
This
This
is
is
the
the
They're
wasp
natural
land.
pollinators.
That is
Wasp
like-
Pollinated
slander
little
only.
dicks.
Natural
There'd be no defense.
pollinators.
No
That's the
defending.
equivalent of like the
You know,
UK being
bees
like,
can
oh,
do
we were allowed to colonize people because it was our land because we went
Yeah,
over and
hello.
we set up camp and now it's us. We're defending
Natural
our place.
colonizers.
No,
Okay.
no.
Oh,
That-
this is
no,
defending us.
that's literally the opposite. In this case, we're the British. The wasps are the people who are being colonized, and now we're saying that the British are good.
There's not a wasp hive in my bedroom, mate.
Yeah, it came in
Oh,
there
yeah.
into his house. Yeah.
There could have been a wasp hive by your bedroom if you hadn't have taken it over.
You just gotta do what the people in TikTok are
I'm a
doing.
wasp.
Just like there
apologist.
could have been
apologist.
a colony
gotta-
if the people hadn't been there first. Just saying.
To be fair, actually,
No, these are not the same things.
I
The
do
whole
have
point
a
of the-
moment.
Colonization only works on the matters of oppression. Oppression only works if there's power.
Wasps
We have power over the wasps because guess what?
No, they
Yes,
are oppressing me because I run away
No,
from them.
no,
because
that's
I'm
what I was gonna say.
scared.
The
Name
wasp-
a person
the
that
wasp-
has not
Oh
had
no,
that
a
wing.
wasp stung you? You know what humans do? They take giant, huge things of smoke and smoke
sting
them
you.
out. Like,
They
that
just
is
make
literal
creepy.
genocide. It's
Here's the
wasp
thing.
genocide,
Here's the
okay?
thing. Creepy.
Have you ever
I don't
seen
like this
a
comparison. It's
person-
very
have you ever seen
weird,
a
but
person with a wasp be so chill? No, everyone I've seen that's a wasp is
Runs
nearby,
away.
they're going, oh fuck, shit. oh,
Yeah,
oh."
wasps are just full of spite.
And
They
the
just-
wasp
yeah,
is
the
just
reason
like-
people run away, yeah, that's because their tactics work. They try to scare people away from their area because they
Tactics
don't
work.
want their stuff to get hurt.
The whole world isn't their area.
Yeah.
Their areas where they are their area.
Well,
All
my
right.
area where I am is my area. So
That's great.
yeah.
That's terrific. Good for you.
That's when you gotta
wasps come
fight
into
them.
my area
Yeah.
and
It's like-
fuck shit up.
Steven, if I just started whacking people and going, oh, it's because I'm afraid.
I'm trying to
in
get
my
You don't have a
Why-
you don't have a reason. You don't have a
they're
reason to
near
be
your house?
afraid.
Wasp have a reason
Yeah.
to be
What if
mad.
The
It's a
wasp,
bigger
why?
guy that comes
Because
over.
the wasp is this big and you're that big.
I
Okay,
mean,
so
here's
not,
the
if there's a
thing, though.
larger man, you're
Maybe just
allowed
don't
to
get
try
near
biting
me.
him.
Yes. If you're around Shaquille O'Neal, you can hit him.
Try
That's how
biting
it
him.
works. Okay. Anyone else, not allowed.
Frightened.
I was
I'm
gonna
gonna
say, wait,
start
I'm
hitting
5'6".
tall people and be like, "This guy Steven told me that I'm allowed to." Sorry,
Because of the
I'm
size
defending my
differential.
area.
he's a
I-
biologist. Okay, so
I followed you
It's allowed.
and
It's allowed.
told you
It's
some
it's
story.
ecological and it's fine. Don't worry about it. It makes
Ugh.
sense when you really don't think about it.
Yeah,
Oh man.
sure.
Anyway,
Go with
shall we
that.
get into our game before
Mm.
they were 20 minutes? That way we can do
Yeah.
it for like 25 minutes.
I just feel like Scott, you should do the DIY screen thing on your windows.
The
True.
DIY screw.
Yeah,
What?
you
Oh,
Just
do it
buy-
and
just
make
buy,
it
like, a
stick and,
mesh.
like, it
How
just
do I do
sticks
this?
on.
Yeah,
Okay,
It's
so I
buy
just
mesh.
buy
just
a
buy
mesh.
like like that mosquito
Just
mesh you can buy.
like window screening.
You can get it
and
on
stuff.
Amazon.
I mean, this is great, but like, I'll have to take a photo later. I've got a lot of fucking windows, Candace. I would have to buy like
No.
20 screens.
Fine.
No.
You
So
buy
that's
a
why what
roll.
you do
At least
It's
is
a
just-
bedroom, you know?
just buy some of that like that generic mosquito net mesh stuff, and then get like a long tube or something, like any plastic tube or like a wooden dowel, and then roll a little bit, tape it, and then tape that to your edge of the window. That'll be way cheaper.
No, a lot of them are like, well,
That's
yeah,
so
maybe. As we
ugly.
say, a lot of them are just like the magnetic tape around the edge.
Yeah,
it
but
works
stuff
too.
can still get it, unless it's like
Not if it's like it's like stuck to the
Sealed.
window edge.
Yeah, usually
Yeah, it would
there's
be
like
sealed.
in between them though.
There
It
is
would be
sealer,
sealed.
yeah.
Just get some
I,
get some of
my
that
first-
putty, you know.
Yeah, the
Okay,
first
hold on.
college that I went to, I literally they didn't have screens and they had a wasp problem. Sucked. By the way,
Oh.
Steven, wasps
Oh.
coming into my room and fucking shit up.
Okay,
So
okay.
I bought the screen and just cut it out.
don't
I sent
leave
you the
things
video I
on
saw
there.
on Discord.
I had to tape it
definitely
because
look
I
at it
didn't
later.
have
Yeah.
screens.
Someone
there.
who did
was
it because they
cringe.
moved to the UK and they didn't have any. And
Okay,
then
but yeah,
all
we
that
should
stuff.
do our overrated.
Yeah, because we want a
underrated.
short thing today because
Yeah,
of the whole, you know,
because Eugene's
pick
not here
TV
and it's
shows?
late.
and also
Okay,
it's late
these
o'clock.
Well,
are
and early.
like
At the
these
same
are kind of
time.
mainstream TV shows.
Okay, wait, I gotta play the clip.
Yeah.
Overrated, underrated, the game where we rate things.
Degens?
Yeah,
Oh
Degens,
god.
Degens.
Alright, next one.
Steven's so focused that whole time.
That was also pitched like 3 things lower, and because I sing in that one.
kind of muffled.
That
Well,
one.
yeah, that's
always
because I
does.
put a
Yeah,
filter
that's
on
what I
that,
mean.
so you can't
Yeah.
just hear what my voice
Do it
actually sounds
live.
like when I sing. Otherwise, it'd be hella cringe. I mean, it's already hella cringe. But now it's funny cringe. That's why whenever.
Degens is pretty bad in there.
That's
Oh,
funny.
Oh, you know how much
Degens
reverb
is
I chuck on your
terrible.
Degens? It's a lot of
lot?
reverb. It's like the concert hall option. It's just like
Jeez.
Lord
Why did like
have
give
mercy.
Candace a complex about Degens
No,
now?
have mercy.
Degens.
Yeah, she
She,
does.
she wakes up in the middle of the night. Degens. Just nightmares about
nightmares?
it.
What's wrong with my Degens?
Oh my god. Okay,
Right.
so we're doing mainstream TV shows. That's what we have moved on to.
Hopefully,
so,
I've watched some of them.
yeah, I
So
will find
so
out.
I'll have heard
Okay.
of them, probably.
The first one is one of my comfort shows, The Office.
Mm.
Oh,
Okay,
topical.
so
Don't shit on
I-
it too hard.
as-
The
as- okay,
American
as
one, not the
someone-
UK one.
as someone
England
who has
UK,
watched-
American.
we're talking American.
Oh, all
We're
right.
doing American.
As-
not, I
As
haven't
someone,
watched
and I
that.
will say this right now, as someone who has watched The Office
Yes.
probably 15 times all the way through,
Yes. Same.
I have to say it's overrated.
No.
Because don't get me wrong, there is a lot of good in it. So there's a lot of good episodes, and it can be really funny.
Mhm.
But
People live and die by that show.
people
You're okay,
people
I was
get a
thinking.
little bit too like it's funny, it's good, but it
weird
is. It's
Office
just
culty
there's
fan-
too much of a
fans.
cult following that just
Yeah,
goes
but
nuts
that's with
for
a
it.
lot of stuff.
I feel
Like the
like
fact,
there
the
are
that's
too
over
many,
there,
there are
though.
so many
like
people.
people
that go
people
full
literally
overboard for
subscribe to
everything.
Peacock just because of The Office. It's the only thing they want to watch, right? Like
yeah.
Yeah. If
But to
Crave
be
wasn't
fair,
so
like-
expensive, I would do that just for like 2 or 3 different shows.
That's not
Yeah, but you don't
entirely
because it's
the worst
expensive.
thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
whereas
it's like-
Peacock, it's like
It's like
spend
20
like
bucks a
15
month
bucks
just
a
for
month.
Crave, and then to
Yeah.
add HBO on, it's like another 20.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
could
Crave
be-
has
It's
Drag Race
insane.
on it.
I could be living under a rock, but
Netflix
like
has Drag Race.
anytime
Mhm.
anyone's
No,
mentioned The
Crave has
Office to
Drag
me-
Race All Stars and Canada and UK,
Ooh.
Yeah.
which are all better.
Netflix has a bunch of those.
No,
They have
no,
All-Stars
Netflix,
on
Netflix just
I know
has
nothing about
Netflix
this.
just has the original American series.
And All Stars.
No, Crave has All
I've been
Stars.
watching them, and they have
Maybe Netflix has some of the
you have
seasons of All
Untucked
Stars,
on
too.
there too.
Oh yeah, but like I don't care about Untucked.
It's kind of funny, the drama.
I don't
you
care about the
saying
drama.
Scott?
Yeah,
Sorry, Scott, yeah.
No, it's all good. It's all good. The only time, to be fair though, the only time I've ever seen anyone bring up The Office, because Stephen is right. There's like got a huge culty
Yes.
fan base. However, that's not the worst thing because there's definitely been families that are culty and annoying. This is just
Oh, for
culty
sure.
because it's big. Like, I've
Yeah.
never seen anyone that's gone up to me and gone, "The Office is the best thing ever, and fucking everything else is rubbish." Like, every time I've heard someone like that's a fanboy for The Office, it's just been, it's my favorite show, and that's it.
It's
No
good.
one's been
Well, but
rude about it.
I think what I'm trying to say mostly though is that like
I don't
it's
think. I mean, like,
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculously popular.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
It is
but
like
like, it's not. The thing I find is like it's ridiculously popular, but like people, I don't know why I'm doing like an O shape, but the thing that I find, it's like it's ridiculously popular, and people do bring it up all the time. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like culty in the sense of like, or overrated in the sense that like people bring it up and be like, "It's the best show ever," and let me just talk about it. It's just going like, "Oh, I really like The Office."
Yeah,
Which I
I
feel
mean,
like
as someone
Doesn't
who's
make it
never,
overrated to me.
yeah, as someone who's never watched The Office, whenever I tell people I haven't watched The Office, they're like, "How have you not watched
Yeah,
The
see,
Office?"
that's the
Oh
thing.
my
That's
god,
That's the
you
thing.
And it's
And,
been
and
out
the thing is
for
that
so
before
long.
I watched it, that's the reaction I got too,
Yeah.
which is probably the reason I watched it the first time.
Maybe I just
Mhm.
get a nice Office.
And the other thing
They
that
were
I
like,
do find
we
interesting
definitely
too is
watch
that
it
like
sometime.
for you, Scott, like living in the UK, like I
Yeah.
know that in the UK the American
Nah.
Office is looked down upon a
No,
lot.
don't. No, I'll be
because
honest.
it's a
Like,
copy of
I'll
the
be honest.
UK
Like,
one.
I'll be entirely honest. I was mostly just doing that for a laugh. Like, you talk to most people in the UK, they're like, fucking no one likes the original Office in the UK.
Yeah.
They're like, Ricky Gervais is pretty sick, but also Ricky
Michael
Gervais is
Scott's
pretty washed
just
up.
a freaking classic.
Bro,
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais is so incredibly washed up right now. He tells the same two
He's been washed up
anti-trans
for a while.
jokes every time. That's all he does. It's like
He's been washed up for like 20 years.
You're
So.
like, my God.
Mind you,
Yeah, he
he
was
was
things.
Albert.
He was in the UK and he was like good for a bit, and then he got washed up there, so he went to the US, and then he got washed up there, and now he's like, I guess I'll just make random Netflix original series.
Mind you,
and
I
they
do
won't be
like.
good.
I do love his podcast. Like, I forgot what it's called, but he's got a podcast. I mean, this is like the worst way to be told any information. Oh, I forgot what this is. Forgot what that is. But he's got a podcast.
This
But,
is
I
our
was
show.
gonna say
This is
that
our
was
show.
most of
Yeah,
us
I was
saying
gonna
that.
say.
Yeah, he does a podcast with like Carl Plinkington or something. Probably butchering the names, and then it's Stephen Merchant as well.
Oh, okay, yeah,
It's such a good podcast. But like them, like Ricky Gervais's like content. Apart from that, I'm like, sorry,
it's not
Ricky.
good. It's
Sorry,
pretty
Ricky,
rough.
It's just not good.
Yeah, it's pretty
But
rough.
they do have like they're the great personalities to just talk about random shit because they have bad hot takes.
Oh, terrible hot takes.
But in
Well,
any case,
which brings
Yeah,
people.
I
we
feel
probably
like-
spent a lot of time on The Office.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
more
I
I think
it's
it's overrated.
slightly
Office,
overrated.
I think it's overrated.
But I haven't watched it, so
Like, I think it's good, but I think it's overrated.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it's fine,
All right,
but I've
next
also
one.
not seen enough of it.
Yeah. Orange
That's
is
your
the
line.
New Black.
Never seen it.
I watched the first season like
That
when
got
it
really
came out.
popular
Yeah.
when it came out. Now it's,
It
no one
was
talks about
super
it now.
popular until it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
which is impressive for a show to stay popular till the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
think
haven't watched the whole thing, and I haven't
Well,
watched it in years. So
Like, I don't think it's like, as far as I know, I don't think it's
Last season.
overrated because from what I've heard, it's a really good show.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Um,
I've tried watching it a few times, and I haven't been able to get through it. But maybe it's just not my type of show because it's
Yeah.
like this
Yeah, I was
super
gonna say-
over dramatic. You know?
It's
Yeah,
definitely-
There's
it's-
also
it's a classic kind
the
of
one
drama
chick.
show.
Oh, what was her name?
Which
She
one?
had everybody questioning if they were like.
Oh, isn't it like Ruby,
Ruby or
something?
something?
Yeah,
He's just a hot person.
yeah.
Have you heard of Ruby, Jordan?
I don't know.
You need to look up Ruby. She's just hot. I don't know what else to say about her.
Love me, hot women.
She's
It's one of
pretty
the-
hot.
Ruby
I feel
Rose?
like-
I'm like fully straight.
Ruby
She's so hot.
Rose?
Oh yeah, Ruby Rose.
Yeah, people.
Well, it's because she
Just like to look
presents
at her.
she presents very androgynous in some situations,
Yeah,
especially in the
she's
show,
just an
right?
attractive person.
No, she's got a very good facial structure.
Yeah,
Like her bone structure is intense.
yeah.
She's got nice
Bone
bones.
strokes.
She's also
Well, I'm
Australian.
sorry, but is that wrong? Like, am I
Even on a
wrong?
date,
Bruh,
wow,
her
man,
with
I love
purple
you, very
hair.
nice
Oh
bones.
my gosh.
She's
Hold up.
Australian too, so she got an accent.
I thought you were gonna say so she's got an ass. I was like,
She's got an
That's how it
ass.
works. Yeah.
I
If
didn't
you're-
know
If
she
you're from the
had
southern hemisphere, you have an ass. That's how it works.
You-
Because you're lower down, so
Yeah.
all of the fat goes
all the
down to the butt.
junk. Yeah.
She
The trunk
is
goes
just
to the trunk.
yeah,
as
she's
they
just
say.
attractive.
Fucking
I really
awesome.
like when she has the hair. What's got the
Oh, it's got the
like,
side parted, like
cut
that.
right
That
there,
the
and
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain that.
No, I know.
It's
Yeah,
so good.
it's classic soccer
Yeah,
player
it's
haircut.
just
Is it?
True.
Is
Yeah,
it
I
weird
guess
to,
so.
like,
I guess so. Yeah.
it's funny, like on a guy, that's the most overdone thing. As soon as a
Oh,
woman
it's
does it,
you,
True.
you like if you see a guy with a haircut, you're like, oh, that guy's definitely an asshole.
90% of people.
You see a girl with a haircut, it's like,
But Ruby, hot. There's no arguing. I'm sorry.
Is it weird to think that you all have an accent to me?
no.
That is
No.
weird. No,
I don't find that
is
strange
weird.
at all.
My
It
brain,
makes
I'm
sense.
like,
What
every
does
single
our
person
accent
has
sound
an
like,
accent,
though, if you
right?
were to exaggerate it?
What is a Canadian
It's weird.
accent?
You got like a mix of like an American accent and an English accent, in the sense of
Which is
like,
very BC, by the way.
like,
It's a very
Really?
British Columbian thing to kind of have because
You say
our accent,
poop weird?
the
But I
way we speak in
Tory.
BC is quite different from a lot
Right.
of Canada,
because it
just because we're so West Coast.
We're
right.
not,
like I think
we're
it's one
not
of
like
those
the
things,
Albertans
it's
fucking A, bud. Sorry, what
Fucking
you're
A.
saying.
No,
I
we're
think
not.
it's the
We're
way
not.
we
We're
say,
not like
like,
East
some
Coast.
of,
The
I think it's the way we
Eastern
say some of
Canada
the
is
vowels, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our
Like, I
mouth
don't
shape
mean,
in
like,
general is a
sense
bit
of,
wider.
like, your
Yeah.
general talking sounds British, but like just in the sense of like pronunciating certain words or
General
vowels.
talking sounds
Like,
British. What do
but
you
like,
mean? What?
like it,
Like
I just
speech
mean like,
patterns. Speech patterns are a little bit more British,
Yeah.
but the way we say words is a bit more
Yeah.
American.
that's
Okay.
what
Well,
I
like
mean.
when I moved, I was talking to someone a while ago that is like
Well, I
really,
guess
really into
to kind of
languages,
opposite
and they
too.
were like,
Mm.
"How do you say Vancouver?" And I was like, "Vancouver," and they're like, "Okay, so you like."
Vancouver.
Yeah, they're like you have like
Vancouver?
you are like you sound like you're from Vancouver now because apparently I say it not
What,
like other
Vancouver?
Vancouver. Yeah, they're
Vancouver.
like,
I feel like
oh,
everybody says Vancouver.
Well, no, some
because
people
we're
say
in
Toronto.
BC.
but
Because we're in
some
BC.
say Vancouver.
Oh.
Yeah,
Though.
exactly. He's like, yeah,
Vancouver.
people
going to
generally say
Van? I
Vancouver.
don't
Yeah,
know.
Vancouver,
Yeah, Van.
not Vancouver.
Well, I think that's the
Van-
thing.
It's
Is
Van,
like,
but also Vancouver.
at
Yeah,
least for like a
Van-
London
Vancouver.
accent, or well, this is the problem with like England is like has so
Is that
much,
there's a
like,
billion different
dialect.
accents?
I mean, yeah, you could go
You're making me
anywhere from
nervous
like
with
London.
the light.
If you go like Northern, yeah, I'm scared of it. But like I'm from West London, so I suppose like, and even then my accent's somewhat bastardized from living overseas. But I don't, I shit you not, I came back here. People were like, "Are you Australian?" I'm like, "Fuck off."
An insult!
I was like, that hurts you right in my heart. But
As he reaches for his back. Ah, my
Anyway.
heart!
my heart.
I was itching
Yeah.
My
heart
heart's hurt my triceps!
I'm just itching my arm. Like, didn't realise this is a
Yeah.
show where I have to be like, oh my eyes, oh my
Yeah.
mouth.
It's a very visual audio podcast.
But
How dare
in
they
any
insult
case,
you, though?
in any,
Okay.
it's, you know, it felt like. I mean, you meet any British person, and they take some proper respect of being British, even though at the same time they're like, "Fuck Britain." But so there's just an aspect of like, I come back to my own people, and they're like, "You don't sound
Who are
British."
you?
I'm like,
That's so
"Fuck me." My whole life has been overseas, being told, "Oh, you're the British kid. Oh, British that." And I
Yeah.
come back to
Yeah,
my own
you're not
people, and they're like,
British.
"Who the fuck are you?" I'm like, oh, "All right."
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Back
know what's
home,
kind of
like-
weird? So,
Yeah.
sorry, my grandpa, like, he speaks like this, but he says Tuesday is Tuesday. And someone asked me if he was
Tuesday, yeah.
British because he said
I feel-
Tuesday.
I feel
And I was
called
like,
out.
Yeah.
what? I know, but like someone, he's
Tuesday, innit?
not from England. His family is from like way back is from like Ireland and stuff. So I don't know where he got
Yeah, well,
Tuesday
I mean,
from.
the dialect would like
I
it would be
mean-
more similar than it would
But
be.
they're like,
Yeah.
oh,
from,
is
like,
he from England? I was like, he has no accent. What are you talking
Irish-
about? He
Irish-
said
Irish
one
people
word.
also say Tuesday.
yeah.
Oh, do they?
Oh yeah,
That's why.
absolutely.
Well, I mean, you got to think of this. Like, I think that's the thing. To be fair, Northern Irish people do probably sound the most American out of all, like, the people in, I guess, the British Isles and near British Isles, basically. But in any case, so what the fuck? Well, I completely forgot the tangent. Why we were
Tuesday.
talking about accents.
Tuesday and how we have accents. You're trying
Oh,
to
yeah,
describe
Jordan asked
Yeah,
whether
yeah,
it sounded
I
like
remember
we
now.
have accents.
Yeah, so I remember now. So if I need to, like,
No, I didn't.
exaggerate how,
Oh.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about the details. Anyways, if I need to stay together,
Go.
everyone.
Go. Focus.
Well,
Then
Oh,
Eugene
we're
to
not
keep us on track.
collected.
If
We
I
got
had to,
through two
if I had to
shows.
We got through
exaggerate
one and a
it-
half.
I'll be real quick.
talk.
Shut the fuck up. If I had to exaggerate, it almost sounds like, so in Britain, or at least my accent for West London, is like, it's a lot of like rounded like pronunciations of stuff and also just how you talk. Whereas like Canadian and American do this, which it's a lot more like sharper, like sort of pronunciation. So for example, if I said like, I don't know, it's like saying something's hard. It's like rounded as you say the
Hard.
A instead of
Hard.
hard. It's
Hard.
like
Hard. Oh, yeah,
harsh. It's like
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
R's
yeah,
are-
yeah. It's like very harsh, and just apply that to basically everything. That's pretty much.
It's almost like
Hard.
you emphasize the middle of words and we emphasize the ends.
Yeah.
And
We're the
like-
vowels. And we have
Speaking of
hard.
pronouncing words, though, you know what I kind of got self-conscious about within the last month?
Oh,
Don't
no.
know why my
Peter.
brain just latched onto it. Saying sandwich.
Do you say
Sandwich?
Sandwich.
You say sandwich?
Sandwich.
With an
Yeah.
M?
Go make me a
Sandwich?
sandwich. Like,
I don't know why.
Where did you get that from?
I don't know.
Candace
just
wants a
saying it's like
sandwich
sam-
from sandwich.
Sandwich.
It's those
How
like
do you
memes
say
where
it?
you, like,
Sandwich?
Sandwich.
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 That's how it's
Sandwich.
spelled. Sandwich.
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 No.
I
You
think
know
it's
what?
probably from
We
those
say
like memes where
sandwich
you go sandwich.
Yeah,
I
I don't
can't
know.
stop-
Maybe I just realized that I said sandwich. I was like, oh, I hate that.
I was saying it as a meme, and now when I say progress instead of progress, it sounds wrong to me.
Progress.
I
I've never
said-
heard
I said-
progress.
I said something the other day, and they're like, "What?" Like, no.
Oh
Wait,
my
hang
god,
on,
we have-
how do pronounce
you
that
have you
word?
have the Twitch brain rot. It's happened.
Progress?
It's actually happened. Progress.
Progress,
Progress, not
like
progress.
poggers.
Yeah, like that's pretty
progress.
She's
I
saying
pronounced it
progress.
progress.
Yeah. No,
Oh
progress.
my
You should
gosh.
say progress.
Well, you should say progress.
Progress.
You should have done a
Progress.
segment
Oh,
on
okay.
how we
I thought that
pronounce
was
things
just a weird
differently.
thing.
Oh my gosh. Scott, I actually had an interesting question too. This is like a follow-up.
Yeah.
Ask Scott questions about how we sound. Because like you said, we all sound like kind of like a hybrid Canadian American sound.
Right.
But what I always find interesting is like, do you notice big differences between like the individual accents of Jordan, me, and Candace? Like, because since we're born and raised in the same, well,
No, yeah.
Candace and I were born and raised. Technically, Jordan wasn't, but it's fine.
Well, that's,
Yeah,
Well,
that's
you lived in other places, okay? Okay,
True, true.
I'm trying to include
I'm a
your whole life
traveler.
story. Or
Yeah,
did you forget
fair.
about that,
I
Jordan?
remember- north.
For the record, my brother was
Honestly,
born in Abu Dhabi.
articulating.
We don't go, oh, he's got an Abu Dhabi background.
Anyways, no, but you know what I mean. But like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, since we're all basically like similar nurture, right?
Yeah,
like,
no, it just sounds like the same accent. For like
Interesting.
all three of you. Because
Wait, how do
why
you
would
say
it
the
not?
letter
Or
H?
Jupiter.
Do you say H or
Jupiter
H?
and insulator.
Insulator. Sorry, that letter H?
This
Yeah.
messes me up because I feel like every time I change it, because of the fact
Because
that I've lived overseas.
I know that Australians say H.
H.
So do
Because-
British people.
'Cause-
Yeah, I was-
yeah,
I
that's
was
what I
just
was
about to say,
asking.
my
Does
first-
Scott say
my first-
H or H?
My first inclination was to say H,
Yeah.
but because also H, like if I say H, it just sounds weird to me. So in
Well,
hindsight,
the
that's
thing
probably what I would say is H.
H. The thing is, H makes sense though because
It
H
has
starts
the
with an
huh
H.
sounding.
There's a "huh"
Yeah.
sound, right? Like
To
the
be
whole
fair,
point of
though,
letters
this
is
is
to make
like-
sounds, except for
but then-
W.
Like here's the problem. That's like a
Wha-
Wha-
cliff not worth
Wobble.
dying on because there's so
No,
much
it's not.
like stupid English like
Yeah.
terms
Oh,
that just
absolutely.
don't make any fucking
Like
sense.
thumb. Ah, yes, UMB. That's what I want to end my word with.
Oh man, my dad used to just get like proper cross at me because I couldn't pronounce Thor as like a 5-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
I would go.
Yeah,
I would
me
always
too.
go Thor, and he'd be like, "It's Thor. Use your tongue." I'm
Thor?
going Thor.
I had, and still to this day have a lot of issue with my like ths and s's, like th versus sa. Like I have to be really, really like, what's the word? I have to be really, really purposeful about it, or else I'll go like
Right.
tha.
See,
Like
I get.
I saw a ice cube thawing instead of like I thought.
I saw it thaw.
I
Saw.
thought.
Oh, you know, actually, not to bring us back to it, but that's like that right there was one of the first words I was like, oh shit, it is very different because like
Yeah.
the way you say SAW is very different. Like I say saw, and you say
Saw.
saw.
Oh,
Saw.
saw. It's
Saw.
ah. Yours is
Saw.
oh. Yours is like
like
a oh.
OR, like saw.
Yeah.
Are you
Cool.
sure?
Yeah, oh, yours is not oh, and ours is ah. And you know what it is? Actually, I remember learning about this once. That like, and I'm assuming this is probably a byproduct of us living on West Coast and having more American influence. That a lot of Americans, when they speak, they tend to open their mouths more, whereas
Yeah.
Canadians in general, and this is a byproduct of us being like a Commonwealth, tend to keep the sides of our lips closed most of the time.
You mean
So when we
just-
speak, we go like this. So like soul versus
Saw.
saw.
Ah.
Saw.
saw. Like
Yeah.
our jaws will drop, whereas yours will keep pretty still.
I mean, I suppose you could
Just
also
mouthing
see
words
it's
now.
like-
I know, it's like a little processing above your head. Now I'm looking
Well,
at
it was-
Canadianism.
This is interesting. I don't know. I know.
But
Like,
no,
How
it
about
is
we,
true.
what's our
we just
third
spent
show? What's
12
our third
minutes on that.
We're 40 minutes in,
All
guys.
right, all right. One more show.
We might make it through one more show.
Let's do one
I don't know.
more.
I started looking up Canadianism. Sorry.
Right, show. Let's
Show,
go.
show.
Grey's Anatomy.
Never.
Never
I've seen a few
watched it.
episodes. I've seen some
Never
I'm
episodes.
watching it right now.
Okay,
So is it
all I can
overrated
say
or
it's
underrated?
it's overrated because there's like
probably
5,000
overrated, yeah.
seasons, and
Mm.
how many times can you have a doctor die? at
Meredith
your
has
hospital?
almost died like four times. I
Like,
swear to God.
you know how many doctors have died
Right.
at that hospital, not just through regular means, but through some random. Like they would have gotten shut down such a long time ago. Like you
Okay,
can't
yes.
have that happen. They had so spoilers. They've had like mass shootings at their
spoilers.
hospital.
Yeah, a
They've
bomb.
had people die, bombs, multiple doctors.
They had
actually,
COVID.
it's normal.
Just kidding.
Well, everyone had COVID.
That's just
You're not.
Okay,
You're not
let's
funny.
just go to
You're not
Friends.
funny.
Special.
Friends is the
Friends.
new show. Friends.
So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Thank you. Good
don't know why
job,
I said it and then
you're
clapped.
broke. Your love life's DOA.
Yeah,
It's
what
like
do you,
you're
what do
always
you guys
stuck
think of that
on
before I
second
ask you about
I-
another Canadianism?
when it hasn't
I
been
think-
your day, your week, your month, or even
Oh,
your
it's so
year. We're gonna get
hard.
copyright
Likes the
strike.
show.
for
It's
this.
so
I just like
hard.
the
It's so
intro.
hard.
The intro is
Because, like,
good.
I don't want to say it's overrated because I love the shit out of Friends growing up, but that's also just bias. It is
This one I've
kinda
never
overrated.
watched.
I've
I
only
feel
watched
like it's-
random
actually-
episodes.
It's weird. I feel like Friends is not overrated now, but it was
It was
overrated
before.
True.
in the early 2000s.
Yeah, it's lost. You know what? It's lost a lot of popularity in the last 10 years, and not. And
Which
I
is just
think
like-
it's because a lot of people reflect on it, and also like it's not on. You know how it used to be that like you watch TV and they had reruns of stuff all the time. Since
Yeah.
no one watches reruns of stuff on TV
Yeah.
anymore because no one has
Wow.
TV, the younger generation doesn't give a damn about Friends,
Yeah.
and when they do see it,
That's
they're
the
like, "This
thing,
is so
right?
cringy and weird."
Yeah.
That being said, Jennifer Aniston, she's Greek,
Is
so
she?
it's a great show.
She's
Yeah,
Greek.
10
I
out
did
of
not know
10.
that.
Just gotta throw it out there.
She's Greek. You know, she's Greek. It's a good show because she's Greek.
Can I?
But yeah,
Can I bring up?
I think it's not overrated
Yes.
nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I think now people don't really care that much about it, so
Yeah.
it was
Um,
overrated before. Now it's probably fine.
You got another
I have
Canadianism?
a question. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
What would you guys call a multi-level parking structure?
A multi-level.
Wait,
parking
Yeah.
let
structure?
Scott answer first.
Yeah.
I don't even.
Like a building where you
Where you
park, and there's
park.
different levels, and you pay to park in
Oh,
the
but
the
see,
big
this is
building.
where I get made the mick out of because, like,
Why?
I'll say shit like,
Made the mick out of.
wait, you don't know what taking
It's a
the mick
British.
is.
No. I'm assuming
I
that
know
means
these because I
making
watch a lot
fun
of soccer.
No,
It's fine.
so, so, like, this is where people take the piss out of me because, like, I will just forget things like that, and I'll say
Yeah.
the American terms. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking hell, all right,
Oh.
dog.
There's a lot to say about
Yeah.
this.
You're getting made
He
fun of right now.
really wants to be chimed in. It's like,
You know what?
but no, I'll say like the American terms or the Canadian terms, and like someone will go, "All right, Canadian." I'm like, "Fuck off."
Mhm.
cunt." But in any case, I don't know. I mean, this is probably the Canadian term, but I would just say parking complex. Oh, that
No.
sounds so American.
Okay,
Is it
okay.
not?
No, we say parkade, right?
Yeah, parkade
Yeah.
was the first word that
I
came to
did
my
not
mind,
know
too.
that. I thought it was parking garage, not parkade. Like
What
I've
the
never heard someone call it a parkade.
Parkade
Parkade.
is what it is. It's called the
I've never
parkade.
heard that.
Actually, we had a big issue in Prince George where like there was a parkade they were building that was like $33 million over budget,
Oh my
which for
God.
Prince George, which is not a big it's a
It
city, but
sounds
it's not a
so
big
Canadian.
city.
I'll
That's
say-
a lot of money to be over budget on a freaking
parkade.
parkade.
A parkade sounds so Canadian.
Okay. The next one.
Should we
Wait,
do
wait.
another?
It's
Oh, is it
whatever,
another Canadianism?
but-
Yeah,
two
these are
minutes.
Canadianisms.
Sure.
Because we talk too long about shows.
It's also, I mean, to be
Yeah, we
fair,
we had like
About
3 minutes of
Canadianism.
show content, and then the rest is
let's
just talking about
let's
stuff.
just do this milk.
Okay,
tea, like,
so-
Yeah,
come
sure.
on.
The next one. So you know
Yeah.
how like we usually call them ATMs, correct?
ATM,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Apparently, a Canadianism is calling it an ABM.
No, that's not
The
a.
fuck it- no,
maybe
that's
maybe in the
not.
maybe in the
According to
Maritimes.
this,
Not here.
according to this website, 38% Canadian, or maybe it's becoming a sociolect. It's like
I think this feels like
because
a
they're
Nova
calling it an
Scotia thing.
automatic banking machine, so an ABM. But it's like Canadians are starting to move towards the American ATM. I've never heard
No.
ABM in my life.
Never.
ABM
We
must be something that's more. Although I'm seeing here on the website of Scotiabank Canada, ABM. It must be a maritime thing. It must be a maritime
Maybe.
thing.
Yeah.
Eastern
I don't
Canada.
know. I've never heard
And
that.
that to me that's like the class thing. If you see something like, oh, Canadians with their bagged milk, it's like
Yeah,
That is not over
Ontario.
here. Like,
Here.
I don't
Like a bag.
understand.
Like
I
all
don't
of
have a milk
Western
jug.
Canada is very different from Eastern Canada. A
Yeah.
lot of
It's
Canadian
built
stereotypes are
different, you know.
actually Eastern Canada stereotypes.
Not like
Yeah.
other I mean,
We're not like other provinces.
Other provinces.
provinces.
Yeah, see, BC is like the
Or
sweet spot where
territory.
it's like we don't have a lot of the
Backward
weird
way.
Canadian things the East does, but we don't have the crazy, insane right wing like nutsiness of the prairies.
Yeah.
True.
So it's like we're in the sweet spot. We're good,
What do you
unless
call
you go to where I live, which is
We live in
what do you
Quebec.
call a trough that runs along the eaves and catches rain and leaves?
Oh,
a
fuck.
trough.
I was like, where the fuck is this going?
Hey, I don't even know what the fuck's called trough anyways. I'll just be like...
So
The thing
what
that
she's
catches the
talking
rain
about?
off
Oh, wait.
the edge
Yeah,
of
we
the
just-
roof.
the roof
No,
the roof
we
goes
just
down.
no, we just call them rain collectors.
I can't
Okay, I
even
haven't
think
heard
of
that.
what it's called.
Call them
Usually
the
it's
gutters.
gutters
Oh,
yeah,
or
the gutters.
eaves
Gutters,
troughs.
yeah.
Eaves,
No,
eaves
yeah,
troughs
gutters and
is
rain
Canadian.
Eavesdrops. Yeah, that makes sense.
Everyone else
Yeah,
calls them
eavesdrops or
gutters.
gutters.
Gutter is such a cooler word.
We call them gutters.
Yeah,
Come
okay.
on, everyone I know
What
calls
do
them
you
gutters. Yeah.
what do you
I think
call
of
the
the
thing
gutter
that
as the
eats the
like
garbage
curb.
in the sink?
The
No,
thing that eats the
curbs-
garbage in the
curbs
sink, a
use
raccoon.
curbs.
No, like the gutter beside the curve. You know.
I think when I think gutter, I think bowling.
I
It's
think
just
like
the-
the like
Oh my god,
along
I
the
know
edge
the
of the
name.
road.
I know, because
Oh,
I do
I know what
those
you're
at work all the
saying, yeah.
time, and now I
Yeah.
can't think what it is because
I think of that a gutter. I
Right?
think of that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But let's move
I'm
on to the thing
Yeah,
that
the
the thing
eats
that
the
so
garbage
in the sink
breaks it
sink.
up.
There's a little thing at the bottom. You press the button.
the
it
drain.
goes-
So if food
Oh, we
goes
don't
down
have
there.
that. We
You don't have that
that.
there. In fact, most places in the world
Don't.
don't have those.
That's
I
why I'm
don't
like,
have
what
those.
the fuck?
We call it a
What are you talking about?
garburator.
Carburetor.
Garburator.
What a great. You know what's actually really funny though? Back home in my parents' sink, there's a little thing around like where the sink is, like where the drain goes into, and it says words on it because like it's like, and they call it an insinkerator. But I was like,
Oh my
but you
God.
call it a
Yeah,
carburetor still.
That's
I
An
remember
insinkerator.
my aunt had a garburator in her old house in Edmonton, and she turned it on and was like,
It's terrifying
"You
sound.
have one?"
Oh, they're so
What?
good.
They
They're so amazing. I
Okay.
love a carburetor.
Next one doesn't make any sense. A wicket.
A
You
wicket.
stand at a wicket when speaking to agents in government offices. Bank
Oh yeah,
accounts.
yeah, like the thing that has
Yeah.
little dots in it and you speak through it, like at like when you have to go get anything done. Yeah, that's called a wicket.
I've never heard.
Never
it.
heard that.
Heard
It's
that
usually
before.
like the bank teller window or the
wicket is
counter,
like-
which apparently that's American.
So for me,
Yeah.
a wicket is like the fucking thing in cricket. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
only
the
thing
fun,
I've
that's the
heard
funny
wicket
thing is that
for
a wicket is
the
also
wicket.
what's that?
That makes
Sticky
me think
wicket.
of a whippet. Yeah,
Wicket.
like the
No, like-
ink thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get
No,
that,
like
but
the
like
gold steam.
that just makes me think of. I feel like. Where did I hear that?
On Dancer, on Dancer, on
have,
Prancer.
have any of you ever played cricket?
They made
I
us
have-
try it.
I have held a cricket bat and swung it before, but I haven't played an actual game of cricket.
Oh.
Yeah.
That being
Not
said,
one of those.
I have watched a decent amount of cricket, and
I
it
used to be
looks
such a
fun.
naughty kid with cricket. I used to take the bat and whack people with it.
Were they bigger than you?
Yeah, I was an.
Okay, well
arsehole
that's
as a kid.
fine.
Yeah, no, sure. You'll
Oh
think
my
I was like
God.
I was 2 foot as a child.
There you go. So you're good.
Okay, the next one is homo milk.
Homogenized milk.
Yeah.
3.5%.
Homo milk. Yeah.
The fuck?
A couple of Americans commented that they were deeply offended by this term because in the US it's a derogatory reference to a homosexual person.
But it's not. It's short for homogenized, so they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Like literally. Like that's the thing. It's like it doesn't mean
Yeah.
it means homogenized.
What is
It's fine.
homogenized
I
milk?
don't know.
See, my first
Homogenized,
thought was
that's-
like
you know the-
human milk. Ew.
Human-
Because
Human milk?
homo
That's
milk
what it
was
is.
like
Homo
Homo
sapien,
sapien
yeah.
milk. You know?
Yeah. So
Breast milk.
like homogenized milk is milk that like it's when they mix the milk with the fat, so it like actually has
It says
Like,
that
so-
all of Canada's milk is homogenized.
It is.
Yeah.
So basically, you know how like basically in the olden days, if you had milk, if you got milk, it would separate into like the liquidy stuff and then cream, like the thicker cream.
Right.
So homogenization is the process of whipping that together, so all of the fat gets dispersed. The reason why we call it 3.5% homogenized milk is because it's just the highest like
Fat.
milk fat content milk
like-
that people drink.
We like our fatty
What
milk.
what person comes in and just goes, can you pass me the homogenized milk? Like, you're like, come on.
I mean, the thing is that what it was is that at a time you wouldn't get homogenized milk. So when it became a thing, people were like,
but
oh yeah, I
who-
want some
who
homogenized milk.
nowadays ever needs to go, homogenized milk, please?
There was so the thing is, it's a holdover from
Give me
it's
my-
a holdover from older.
my-
Okay, excuse me, British man
Give me
who has
my
a billion
full-fat
old words from like 300
homogenized
years ago
milk.
that you use
Oh
all
my
the
God.
time.
Actually, this is a question because I can't remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you? Okay, so give me like the tea on the 3 types of milks. What do you call them?
1%, 2%.
The three? What do you mean the 3
skim milk?
types? There's many types of milk.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, what do you mean?
There's
Like,
skim milk.
cream, it's half
So
and half.
skim milk is when they've basically got all the fat out. There's 1%, 2%, 3.5, which is homogenized. There's
See, this is why
18%,
it's
which
funny
is
as fuck
cream
to
milk.
me. This is
Right?
why I
There's
asked
half
this
and
question.
half
This
whipping
is why
cream.
I asked this question because the UK
What?
is just like
There's 3 kinds of milk.
We're simple as fuck. We're like, bro, you got skim milk, you got semi-skimmed, and you got full fat. we don't
Give me a
different
minute.
bits. We don't
You
It's
really
probably
like-
a good thing.
We
Oh shit!
really like.
There's a so
Right.
Eugene just got home, I guess, because he
I
dropped in a
know.
Discord
Lord.
call and said she.
Okay.
We should probably our sign to stop, honestly.
Close. We're almost done. We're almost done. Sis, I think maybe. I don't know.
There's
What
one
do
more.
you
Can we do
call pencils that are colored that you draw with?
Colouring pencils?
Yeah, pencil
Right.
crayons.
Yeah.
Yeah, pencil
What?
crayons.
No,
Yeah.
Pencil
because, like,
crayons.
Not every pencil you wait. What the fuck you call it? Pencil crayons?
Colored pencils are
Yeah,
pencil
colored
crayons.
pencils are called pencil
Are they
crayons.
made
Yeah.
by Crayola?
No.
Yeah. I mean,
Why-
We had
maybe
there's
a
multiple
little.
brands. There were
Yeah.
Some of them
there
are.
were two for me growing up. There were
Oh.
only 2 pencil
The
crayon
shitty
brands.
ones, Laurentian.
There's
Whatever.
Hey, I like Laurentian.
No, those are the
I
good
grew
ones.
up
Those
using
are
Oh,
Laurentian.
those were the good ones.
Laurentian
What was
is
the
good.
shitty one? What was the shitty
Crayola?
one?
Laurentian.
Crayola was fine.
I remember using
Yeah,
Laurentian.
maybe.
Laurentian was best, but there were like knockoff like bad ones where you get like a home like a school set
Yes.
of pencil crayons and like they wouldn't be
It
branded.
would
They
just
just like
leave gouges in the paper.
yeah, they
no
were not
color,
good.
just
Laurentian was
gouges.
solid. Laurentian was really good for blending. The amount of, you know how many title pages I made back in like grade 5, 6, and 7 with those Laurentian pencil
You
crayons,
know-
you know?
You know what our brand was?
What?
Oh hoo hoo.
Excuse
Pardon me?
You want to say that one more
What?
time? You want to say that one more time? Oh, who?
Oh hoo hoo.
How do you
Is it oh
spell
hoo
that?
hoo or like
You want to?
I need to.
Can
see
you
a
pass
logo
the
for
oh
this.
hoo-hoos?
Oh,
Oh,
hoo,
See, this is
hoo.
the thing, though. This is the thing. This is always what
Pencil
gets me when talking to like
crayons.
Canadian Americans. Is you'll
Brought up
love
the
your
Pokemon.
your brands. Like in the
Yeah.
UK, which like give me the pencil. Like we don't give a shit if it's
A
like
pencil
Crayola
crayons.
or like it's some sort of brand.
It's
We're
just
like
there's good
just
ones.
pass it over.
Oh my god. Okay, wait. Do you guys remember the pencil crayons and the crayons that from Crayola that twisted from the bottom so it'd come out?
Yeah.
The
With
end
the
and you
different.
had to
I
have a
remember the ones
short
with the
one?
different colors. That
Yes.
were like glittery.
You know what? You know what was like the jus de vivre, like the best
Hmm.
possible thing you could have as a kid
What?
was that set of crayons. It was like a 64 set that had a crayon sharpener in it.
Yes.
Oh,
That was
actually,
like
yeah.
the
Ooh,
creme de la
or-
creme. Like if you had that,
you
you
know,
were
like- good
if
pencil
you're, even if
sharpener.
you're friends with the kid,
no, the
that has that,
crayons,
you're like, you're
not pencil
Oh,
crayons,
oh,
just crayons.
Um,
The
I don't
crayon
remember.
set.
I don't remember
Yes.
back that far.
I also
Yeah.
loved
The
the
crayons.
Mr. Sketch scented markers.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
I
that was
hated
like
that.
those were
markers.
the grape one. The grape one is like oh.
Grape
Have you
Even-
not
even
smelled
the-
these? Scott?
Even the brown one had that kind of
No.
cinnamony smell to it. Ooh, real nice.
Cinnamon.
God has never been blessed by Mr. Sketch.
It's not a
We're
blood.
gonna send Scott a
blessed by
Mr.
Sketch.
Sketch.
Sounds like a sketchy
Literally.
fellow.
Oh my god. I have one somewhere at home.
Markers.
I have a cherry one somewhere at home. Not kidding.
The cherry ones are dangerous, man. You know, like, it's kind of like how
how
Play-Doh
did-
A bunch
smells
of
so
kids
good.
just
I think
sniffing
I know where it
markers.
is.
How
What's
did
that?
Canada get away with having a product for children
To
with the
sniff.
guy named Mr. Sketch.
It's
like
because
sketching.
you're sketching stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but in the UK, it'd be like, oh, Mr.
That's
Sketch is in the
sus.
sketchy fucky man.
It's the innocence of Canada. We just don't
That's true.
we don't remember. We don't think about things in that way. Our minds aren't in the eaves troughs.
It's like when I first came there, and like my first experience figuring out what a loony and a toony was.
This is why I haven't missed episode of the podcast. You know?
My first heard
It's
about loony and
it's that
toony
quality
was
that keeps me coming back.
You don't get to talk anymore, Scott. Sorry.
Scott, sorry, I had to self praise there a little bit. You know?
Oh man, you know what the funniest thing though was? I have to point this out. This is from earlier. Was Stephen was telling me about the football game, and it was sick. For the record, I'm not going to be an arsehole, don't worry. But Stephen was telling me about the football game, and then I started saying something, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You can speak," and I was like, "What's happened to Stephen?"
What the fuck?
I was like, "Am I the
He's
chosen
been cut
one?"
off so many times.
But then I come into the podcast, I'm like, "No, I'm not the chosen one."
No. Podcast is my domain.
Nah, Steven gets cut off in the podcast all the time, so he knows he has to fight for his
No, see, it's actually it's a hold off of being the youngest child too, right? Like,
I'm also
my
the youngest
fa-
child. So.
yeah, but Jordan,
Dude, is that
you
youngest
see,
child thing? Because it's true. I get interrupted in my family all the time.
yeah, and the worst part is that if anyone's met people in my family, a lot of them talk a lot.
You included, yes.
Because when I was younger, if I didn't like boom get into a conversation, I would not get a word. So I had to
Oh, I feel that. Because like my missus is very shy, and like sometimes I have to just ground myself and be like, wait, hang on. She doesn't have like the chutzpah to just keep talking, and I would just go blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, you go ahead. I was going to go on the tangent.
I was trying to find the marker to show you because I have a blue one and a red one, and I can't
smell it over
smell
the.
it. Yeah, I
The whole
finished
point
all
is
the
the smell.
packaging.
I'm
But
ready.
I did find 3 separate brands of the pencil crayons. I have a Crayola,
You're like 5 pixels for me.
of the Wrenchen,
Nice.
and
And
Stedler.
Wrenchen.
Oh, Stadler. Stadler's
Yeah,
good
Stadler?
though.
Is that it?
Stadler's good.
Yeah.
Stadler made really, really good erasers. Those white Stadler erasers.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
Those are really
Those are
good,
nice.
and their pencil sharpeners were solid too. Actually,
Actually, that,
They had
this
the
reminds
circle
me.
one that was blue and black, right?
yeah, black lid, blue bottom, and it
Yeah.
always worked really well. And I think they also made really good, like just in general, like their
Normal
compasses, their
pencils,
geometry,
yeah.
everything. Yeah, all Stadler was always like Stadler's like high quality supplies for stationery.
Do you know what we call erasers in the UK?
Rubbers.
Gums? No, sorry,
Rubbers.
rubbers. Yeah.
No,
That's like
yeah,
rubber's
rubber.
Australian, right?
Rubber. No, it's
Oh,
rubber.
you do? No,
Rubber,
it
yeah.
is Australian because my Australian friend
Yeah.
calls it a rubber.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at this!
Rubber.
Jordan's got an Australian
For
friend.
the record, they got
It
it from
might
us.
not-
Jordan. No. But yeah, no, we call them rubbers, and like it was the worst experience ever in
Oh,
high
because
school in
in-
Quebec.
yeah.
Like, can you pass me a rubber, please?
And they're like,
they're
in
like-
class right now?
They're like,
Yeah,
really?
yeah,
It's
they're
like
like,
I didn't know you liked me that way.
Yeah.
No, they're like this.
Except they
British
said it in
kids,
French,
like,
you know?
like it was just funny, and also like same thing happened to my older brother, and obviously he was way older than me. Like he's not fucking ancient, but he's like 3 years older than me, right? So he was more in the area, like what
The age
year-
group?
what is it? What the fuck do you call it? Grades, right? Like grade 11?
High school?
Grade
Senior?
11?
Yeah, high school.
Yeah, senior basically. So
Yeah.
like for him, it's a lot worse. So he literally leaned over to this girl in front of him, her or him. Yeah. So there was a girl in front of him at the school, and he leaned over and went, "Can you pass me a rubber, please?" And she was like,
What?
No.
But she was scintillated by the
This-
British accent.
she
I
was
know it's
like
in
this-
Quebec, so she wouldn't be.
"No,
She'd be
yeah."
like,
I
you
mean,
disgusting
we went
British
to
man.
an English school, so like it.
Oh, so it was fine.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, like I still got screwed over because I had French was like a mandatory class to pass, and I was fucked basically.
To learn French.
Like it. I mean, well, like the thing is, don't get me wrong. I would love to learn French, right? Because my mum speaks like 4 languages, like including
Yeah.
French. So I was like, sweet. However, the like baby piss level French I learnt in Alberta in Edmonton.
Not even close to what you
Well,
need in Quebec.
and then I come over to here. It's like, this is like the level 1 level French. Level 2 level French is like that much higher in Quebec. Like we
And
went
then, and then you go to BC where it's back to the little tiny level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like we went, honestly, like our class in Alberta was like 80 to 90% English, about 10% French at the end. You go to Quebec, fucking switch. It was like an hour
all
and a
French.
half of only French. I was like,
Oh,
I'm
God.
fucked. I'm
Which
so
makes sense
fucked.
for learning a language, but you have to
It does.
start that way.
That's stressful.
I
Yeah.
was like, I'm
Yeah.
so fucked. And like the worst part, not to out my teacher, but the worst part, my teacher came up to me and was like, she was like, I
You
don't
suck.
She was like, you're bringing down the average. I was like, I don't fucking know what to do.
Oh no!
I'm like,
Teach me,
fuck-
come
fuck
on.
me. And like
That's
the worst part,
terrible.
the worst
love
part was they did have like a foreigners French class, which basically was beginner French for like all the foreigners they had there, because there was a huge amount of like Koreans and whatnot. They obviously don't understand French either, but it was like one more year above my level. For whatever reason, they weren't allowed to take my year in. And so my brother was in this fucking piss easy French class. Meanwhile, I'm like in the fucking trenches, like just trying to survive. And my
Just
teacher's just going
suffering.
like, just dude. She's like, dude, you just need to try really hard. I'm like,
Just
Look,
learn the language.
I get, I'm bringing down the
Yeah.
average.
Why
but
don't you
also,
know
like, I
this
don't
in
fucking,
a class where
I
you're
can't
learning?
do it.
Hello.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It was bad.
Hey,
Also,
That's
like,
terrible.
I just had really bad performance anxiety, where like I'd be asked even something I knew.
So
and
when
I
you
just-
asked
my
for a
brain-
rubber, it was really
No,
bad.
yeah, no, just she
That's so
asked me
funny.
how to say my name in French, which obviously I know how to do because it's easy. But like my brain just panicked, and she was like, "Oh my god, he knows nothing."
What's your name? Scott. No, like in French. Scott. It hasn't changed.
Scott.
Less Scott?
It was dreadful.
In Scott.
And that is the reason why when I came to where you all live, which I won't dox again because I've done it in the past, but that's why I was awkward as fuck. Because I just had a dreadful time in Quebec.
Flashbacks.
was also-
Flashbacks.
It's a good
It was
thing
during my
Quebec and
emo
BC
period.
are quite different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I was in my emo period as well. Like I just
Yeah,
got
you
out
were.
of it. And then I came into
Yeah,
Scott,
baby.
or Scott showing up with like the messy black
No,
hair
fucking
and the
hell,
glass
I'm
and the
not-
white.
not in where you live, you twat, but like in Quebec. Like in Quebec, I was just silent and like sad, and then I come, I'm like, oh fucking hell!
I mean, you're kind of
Yeah,
quiet.
and
when
you
got
came,
here.
you see, you're quiet and sad,
It's
and then
very
Eugene and
quiet.
I stalked you for a few days. and
I
then
remember
eventually-
listening to their plan. They're like, okay. So we're gonna talk about
We've told the
Attack.
story like
Yeah,
3
we're gonna
times
talk
over.
about Attack on Titan around Scott and see if he knows what it is. So they like brought it up, and you're like, you guys watch Attack
Little
on
Ed.
Titan?
Yeah,
Like,
the
it worked.
Ed.
It worked.
Yeah, there was a
Because
time, like,
was it I think it
You
was
said
like was it
Shingeki no-
Leah? I think it was that Leah.
Oh,
Leah had
Leah.
Leah's
So
locker
bad
was
for
up near
Leah.
Scott's, so we went around like
oh,
we were
Yeah,
like,
they
hanging
would
out with Leah.
he would have been in our
Yeah.
sectional lockers because mine and
Because
Leah
Scott's
had
locker was
lockers
close
right
to,
beside each other.
Because Scott's locker was close to Mr. Cook's room across from Sorensen's room.
Were they
Yeah.
done by alphabetical order? I never noticed.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It
was
was
like,
always
I
a
just
little
they
bit-
gave me a number, and I was like,
then
all right, I'll
D
go over
to-
there.
I can't remember how they split it up.
Because mine was in the
They
first
were
floor of the
handed
side
out
swing
alphabetically.
Mine
across from Miss
mine
Knott's
was-
room.
Well, I was
different
always
every
the
year.
first section of
Would it be
the.
Yeah, it's different
wherever
every
our
year
section
because it
started
depends. It
was
depends
me.
what grade you're in
'Cause then,
too.
yeah, because I've got the same initials as Eugene full surname. So was it like by first name?
Oh yeah, because they
No,
would have been
No,
beside
it's
each
last
other.
name.
Yeah,
My last name.
but then we were. To be fair though, we were like in the later years. They then put me and Eugene next to each other because obviously
Yeah.
C.
Yeah, in
Maybe
grade
did
12
you come in
would have
partway
been.
through the year, like
Um,
the first time?
Maybe.
I think
they
you
had
did, yeah.
I
ours.
think I was
Yeah,
there the first day. Actually, wait, I might have been like
No,
a
you
day
weren't. You
late.
were there. You
Yeah.
were there partway through the year. I remember.
That
It was
would
a
be
couple
why
months.
you
It
weren't
was.
slotted in
It was.
properly.
Yeah, you weren't. You
Trust
didn't come to
Steven's
school
memory.
at the beginning of the year.
No.
You wasn't.
No, because like I remember having that day where like you come in and they have like on the front like for
Yeah.
all the New Year's like where your classroom is, and I remember that's why I started talking to Leah first. But even though I didn't really talk to her because I still need to apologize profusely for the rest of my life to Leah how awkward it was for her. But
Don't worry,
where
Leah's
they, where they
used to
have that
vetting
like
in new
board
people
where they
who
say
are
here's where
over
all your homerooms are,
there. Oh yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I don't think I would have been at the start of the year, but I do think
Was
I
it grade?
like,
Was it grade? It was
late.
grade 11, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
might have been 10, was it?
No,
on
because
Titan
you.
No,
you
it's 11,
Grade
yeah.
11 and 12, I think
you were
upstairs science
only
wing.
you were
That
only
was
at our
11,
school for
12,
2 years. 2 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
11 and
Grade
12.
10, we were in
I'm-
front of where the new office is.
Oh, I remember also being pissed because in Quebec they finish at grade 11, so I was like, I can't do no
Like,
fucking
now I got
year.
2 more.
Uh,
Bruh.
Yeah, but then it was at our high school, which was dead easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. Honestly, like the passing
No offense
grade,
to my dad who works there, but
yeah,
Small
it's
town.
not his
but
fault.
true.
It's the
Like the passing
curriculum.
grade
So.
is 50%, right? Whereas,
Yeah,
like,
you just gotta get through.
I just came from Quebec, which is like 65%. So I was like,
What's going
but
on?
Quebec and their high standards and cheaper
yeah, no,
tuition.
just- but yeah, no. In any case, like, it was so awkward for Leah, and I still feel so bad because she like comes up to me and like tries talking to me, and I'm like, okay, all right.
See, the problem with Leah is Leah
Okay.
didn't know how to approach you. You know, that's why Eugene and I formulated a long
Oh,
plan
man.
Oh my
to
god.
sneakily
Leah's
get
just
you to-
usually pretty blunt and is like,
slowly-
hey.
Social, yeah.
I
So like,
don't know. The thing that annoys me about like just, I feel like to a certain degree, I just was in a weird funk like from Montreal, and then
Yeah.
coming into there, like it still kind of bled in because I was very quiet, which is
Oh,
weird
yeah.
because I'm not a quiet person. Like to
you
be
don't
honest,
say.
yeah, no, just so I think it's one of those things is like once you all kind of got to know me more, I was louder, but like for whatever reason, I was just fucking quiet. I guess self-conscious.
Well, I mean, you moved to a new high school, literally
every 2
half.
years. Yeah.
Well, and I think is that people think like this isn't something because it's still Canada, but Quebec to BC
Mhm.
is like
Very
moving
different.
across all of Europe, literally, because it's
Yeah.
like it's a big country. Anyways, we should probably wrap up. It's we're at 1 minute and 5
Yes.
1 hour and 5 minutes. So any last words
don't
before we go?
All end
No?
it.
Oh,
End it
oops.
all.
All right.
I
Well,
just-
thank you for listening to episode 34 of 3 Degens and Normie. I'm Steven, and Jordan's there, Candace is there, Scott's here especially. Eugene will be back next week, probably.
We'll watch anime next week.
Yeah, we'll watch Spy Experiment. Ready? Episode 3 next week. Stay tuned.